Welcome to the Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist Congregation service. My name is Jesse Bowen, he, him pronouns, and I am your worship leader this morning. While I go through the announcements, please silence your electronic devices. And our first announcement this morning is a special announcement by Mike Stow, our board president.
Thank you, Jesse. I was just up in front with you 3 weeks ago on the 22nd of March saying that the deal we've been working with for quite a while on selling the building fell through. Do you remember that? Well, I'm sure most of you already know this if you read your email, etc., but on Friday we successfully closed the sale for the building. Yeah. Certainly a long haul, but we're very happy about that, and we invite you to join us after coffee hour to hear more information about that and ask any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Our friends at McHenry County Jewish Congregation have invited us to join them for a fun afternoon of klezmer music with the Maxwell Street Klezmer Band, and that's going to be on Sunday, April 19th at 2:30 p.m., and it'll be followed by a dessert social, and it will be at our new home at Ridgefield Crystal Lake Presbyterian Church. It's a free event, but Bruce Weiss would like your reservation, your RSVP, by Friday, the 17th of April. So there's a lot happening here at Tree of Life. However, we want to make sure that our stewardship drive doesn't get lost in the weeds. As of Wednesday morning, and that's before our congregational administrator went on vacation, we were only about a third of the way through our members returning their pledge cards. So most of the pledges returned were increasing their giving, and that's great. But today is the last official day of the pledge drive. If you have already turned in your pledge, great, thank you. If not, we have a box in pledge forms outside, so you can fill in your card and drop it in that painted box today. You don't have to be a member to pledge. If you do plan to donate to the church next year, knowing the amount of the pledges helps us enormously plan for our annual budget. You'll also find commitment forms by the pledge cards, and that lets us know how you might like to get involved in other activities of Tree of Life over the coming year. We will remember our longtime member, Whit Sears, this coming Saturday, April 18th. Visitation will begin here at 10 o'clock, and then the memorial service itself will start at 11, and it will be followed by a luncheon. And as Mike mentioned, after today's service, everyone's invited to grab some coffee and snacks and then return here at the sanctuary by noon to discuss the building sale and move. We'll provide more details, both around the sale itself as well as what's next. And there are a lot of things that are next. So during this exciting time, feel free to come back, hear what's going on, how you can be involved, and our next steps. Those of you online will be able to use the same link that we're on right now for that town hall meeting. Finally, we'd like to get to know you and answer any questions you might have. If you're new to Tree of Life, we hope you'll fill out the visitor card that you were given at the visitor table, and online visitors can use the visitor card that was posted in the chat. And then we invite you to join us after the service for conversation. We're a friendly bunch, and we welcome a chance to get to know you. We acknowledge that the land on which Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist Congregation stands is the unceded territory of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miami, Oceti, Shakowing, Ho-Chunk, and Kickapoo peoples. Today, Illinois is still home to many indigenous peoples, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to gather on this land. We'll now light our chalice while Jennifer Sebelik reads our chalice lighting words. Online participants are invited to light their own chalice at home if you wish.
We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love. And it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together.
Now please join us in recalling our mission statement. At Tree of Life, UUC, we nurture a community that welcomes diversity, supports the spiritual growth of its members, and acts to create a more just society.
Good morning. I'm Chaplain Dave Becker. I use he, him pronouns. It's my privilege and honor to be the pastor and minister for this congregation, Tree of Life, as well as our sibling congregation, Prairie Circle in Grays Lake. It's okay to call me Chaplain Dave. Pastor Dave is fine, or if you want to just go with Dave, that's fine as well, whatever you're most comfortable with. In one of those synchronous type of things that tend to happen, this month our Soul Matters packet is Embracing Possibility. If you aren't somebody who regularly follows Soul Matters, though, I encourage you to read this month's packet. And so for our opening words and call to worship, I actually pulled them from the introduction to the Embracing Possibility. Welcome to Embracing Possibility. And the Soul Matters team wrote, of all of our themes this year, Embracing Possibility is arguably most central to our faith. It has distinguished Unitarian Universalists from our beginning. Historically, when others saw depravity and sin at the core of human identity, we saw potential. When many were preaching that this world is fallen, we fell in love with the possibility of heaven on earth. Theologically, you might say we were the people who believed that God hadn't given up on us and we shouldn't give up on each other or on this world. Psychologically, it's led us to being the people of why not? Why not give people another chance? Why not fight what might seem like a losing battle? Why not risk a little? Why not risk a little failure or a little forgiveness? Why not trust in the possibility of a new dawn? So that's our religion. But what about us personally, they write? As we honor our religion's unwavering faith in what's possible, we need to allow space for the reality that trusting possibility isn't so easy for many of us. We tell ourselves so many small stories about who we and others are. We all, at one time or another, have lived in tiny tales of what the world could be. Part of it has to do with real-life defeats. But often a bigger part of it is about imagining fear and protecting ourselves. There's comfort in convincing yourself that the effort is hopeless, that you don't have to try and risk failure, hurt, or disappointment yet again. All of which is to say that maybe embracing possibility has more to do with being able to embrace vulnerability and courage than we've thought. The work isn't just about believing in possibility. Who you have gathered around you to pick you up and patch you up when the path of possibility gets bumpy and knocks you down? Whose faith can you lean on when yours grows dim? The thread woven through these questions, of course, is the fundamental truth that no one makes it down the road of possibility alone. And perhaps that's the real secret, remembering that why not is something we all have to say and sing together. It's not a solo act. For why not to sink in, and better yet, take flight, it needs to be at least a duet. And of course, a quartet is even better. And just imagine what we might pull off if we can gather a choir, all singing the tune of Why Not at the top of our lungs. So come, let us worship together.
Good morning. My name is Heather Madaus. I use she, her pronouns, and I have a Wonderbox story this morning, a Wonderbox object this morning. Do I have someone who would like to come open the box for me? Our ever trusty Des. Thank you, Des. Go ahead and hold it up nice and high so everyone can see it. Can people at home see that, tech crew? Maybe move a little more towards me, or there we go. Okay. All right. So what Des is holding up is not just an object. It's an invitation. It's some yarn. So bring it over here, Des. I'm going to start, right here. I'm going to hold on to this end, and I'm going to let Des pass. Do this one and just toss it out. We're going to toss it out to you, and we are going to see what we can build together. So. Okay. Wait, did I grab the wrong one again? Yes. Des is my organizer. Thank goodness for him, right? Okay. Yep, go for it. Yeah, I think the inside might work better. All right, go ahead and unravel us a little. I think maybe the other one. This was not practiced at home before. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so I have one end of the string, and we're going to pass it throughout the whole congregation. Feel free to throw the yarn. Everyone be ready to catch the yarn. It will not hurt, even if you miss it, I promise. So while we are doing that, on Dave's theme of why not use up this lovely purple yarn before we need to move? All right, so Mary Oliver, who I know Dave will be talking about today, asked, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? That's a big question. It feels like a lot to carry all by yourself. But here's the secret. At church, we don't have to answer this question alone. We have a wild and precious community so that we can explore it together. So we are moving to a new building soon, and that can feel a little scary, right, Des? Yep. Like we're leaving something behind. But what makes this church wild and precious? And I'll invite for a minute while we're passing the yarn around, if there's anyone online who would like to share with us what makes this church wild and precious. I know I threw our tech team for a loop, so we'll see if they can adapt to Heather's ever-changing whims. How are we doing with moving that yarn? Is it going? Let's try to get it so that everybody gets a piece of it. And I'm going to invite Des. Des is holding one end of it. I'm going to invite him to bring it up here to the front of the room to symbolize connecting to our television audience online. And I'd like to make sure that it goes back to the tech team so they get another person to hold it over there for the online representatives. So for those who cannot see what's happening here, We are unrolling a ball of yarn from both the end of it and the beginning of it at the same time. So it's taking us some time to figure out how to do this, but we're working through it together. All right, so this string, as it continues to hold us together, it represents my commitment to our values, like justice and transformation. And as we gently toss the ball of yarn across the circle of our community, but we're holding on to 2 pieces of the string, it looks like, before passing it on to someone else. We'll continue this until everyone has a chance, and I'm going to ask, when it gets to Chelsea up here in the front, can you make sure that we include our people who are in the other room too? Thank you. All right, and so as we are building this creation together, I invite us to look at it and recognize it as a web of possibility. Jesse just got hit with our web of possibility. And so for those of us who have their string in their hand already, hold it tightly and give it a gentle tug. What happens when you pull on it? We're all connected, aren't we? We're getting there. We're getting to the all-connected point. And so as it continues to travel around, I hope that our online participants are feeling connected as well through our string up here to the front that Des is holding for you, and to our string over by the tech folks. Did we have anyone who wanted to talk about their wild and precious thoughts about the community online? Okay, thank you. All right, so as we are all connected, we can pull on that string, we can feel how tight it connects us to each other, and when you choose to be brave, when you choose to hold the line, to make a pledge, to be brave or kind with your wild and precious life, you make the whole web stronger because you are holding on. So we are moving buildings, but let's take a look at this web that now goes through our entire building here. Did the web break when we moved our hands? Did it break when someone couldn't hold on very tightly? No, it didn't. We held on. And we will carry this web with us wherever we go. The building is not just the house, or the building is just the house, and we, this community, are the home. So whether we are in this room or in a new one, your life is wild. Your life is precious, and you are never, ever alone in the web. And we now invite our children to move to their classes. Let's bless them with our song for them. All right, now we get the cleanup. Get to go all the way through that circle. I'll go this way, you go
May
that way.
your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace, as you go your way in peace.
Our very own Emmy Tanabe.
Joy, the wondrous gift of spirit, joy extended from great love, heartfelt being filled strengthen threads that intertwine, lift us up in celebration, draw us into light divine, move within our understanding, waken us that we may see deep within the human spirit, souls expand until they're free. Grateful Spirit now reminds us joy is what life's meant to be, stirring us to live with kindness, calling us to wake and see how we live with one another in sacred space and not alone, sharing love with all around us. Heaven on earth becomes our home.
Good morning. My name is Chelsea. I use she, her pronouns. And as we come to a close of this year's pledge drive, I wanted to take just a few moments to reflect on what this community, Tree of Life, really means to us. Recently, we asked all of you a simple question. What is something Tree of Life does, or gives, or stands for that is significant to you? And what came back wasn't just a list of programs or events, but much deeper. Over and over again, people described this place as a safe harbor in an increasingly unsafe world. A place where you can show up exactly as you are, on your best days and on your worst days, and be met with acceptance, not judgment. A place where being who you are isn't a risk, but welcomed. Many of you called this community a chosen family, a home you didn't realize you needed until you found it, a place where friendship fills space that once felt empty, and where connection is not accidental, but intentional. And then there's something harder to describe, but just as real, the energy within this community. People said they come here seeking something, a sense of grounding, of courage, of hope, and they leave feeling better than when they arrived. Week after week, this community becomes the well we draw from, and also one we help refill for each other. What makes all this real are the ways we live it out together. It's the conversations in Chalice circles, it's Saturday breakfasts where relationships deepen, it's programs like OWL that teach us and our children how to live with honesty and respect. It's in our commitment to welcome, truly welcome, LGBTQ individuals, families, and anyone who has ever wondered if there was a place for them. And it's in the way we walk the talk of our values through outreach, through service, through showing up for the wider community in meaningful ways. This is not just a church you attend, it's a community that you build. It's the sacred place that helps shape who you are and who you are becoming. And that brings us to today. Everything I just described, the safety, the belonging, the growth, the action, it doesn't happen by itself. It happens because people like you choose to support it, to sustain it, and to invest in it. A pledge isn't just about paying our bills. It's about keeping this feeling alive. It's about making sure the next person or family who attends our service for the first time finds the same welcome, the same acceptance, the same sense of found family that so many of us have found. So if Tree of Life has been a place where you've found a connection, if it's helped you grow, if it's been a source of strength or courage or simply a place to breathe, I invite you to give in a way that reflects what this community means to you. Because together, we're nurturing something living, something rooted in love, and something that continues to grow. So, just as another reminder, if you haven't completed your pledge placket before you leave, there are cards out there in the fellowship hall. Our goal this year is not about a number, it's about 100% participation. It's about every one of us saying, this community matters to me, and I want to be a part of sustaining it. So whatever you're able to give, large or small, what matters most is that you take part, because it's that shared commitment that keeps this community strong, welcoming, and alive for everyone who needs it.
Thanks, Chelsea. I gave a title for this homily as Our Wild and Precious Church Life. And that was before I knew the timing of that particular title for this day. But it's drawn from the poem, What Will You Do With Your Wild and Precious Life, as Heather said, from Mary Oliver in the final line of her poem, The Summer Day. And the poet writes, "Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one that's flung herself out of the grass. The one who's eating sugar out of my hand. The one who's moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who's gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? And so I think perhaps we can also ask ourselves, and should ask ourselves, what will we do with our wild and precious church community, with our wild and precious church life? And I think there's wonderful hints in the poem. She begins by observing and being attentive to a grasshopper, not just any grasshopper, this grasshopper, the way this grasshopper moves, what this grasshopper is doing in this moment, not with a critical eye, but with a loving, admiring eye. This grasshopper probably isn't perfect, but the poem and the poet is not focused on this grasshopper's imperfections. She's focused on this grasshopper's life. There is so much to love and appreciate and admire about this church, about this community, and about the people in it. Take a moment, if you will, just to look around at one another, whether you're here in person or whether you're here online, and think about who in our congregation has impacted your life, has impacted your life for the better. Who you spent time with learning together, or sharing a meal together, being in a book club or some other social activity together, being in Chalice Circle together, who you've seen at a local protest march or some other social justice activity together, who's helped you and who's comforted you. There is so much to love and appreciate and admire about this church and this community and the people in it. The relationships we have in our building with each other, with the McHenry County Jewish congregation, with the Ridgefield Crystal Lake Presbyterian Church, those Rickle Picks, with our long-standing relationship with Pride, through the Friday Community Resource Days and the annual People in Need Forum, through Compassion for Campers and Jailbreakers and the recently formed Community Action Network, bringing essential groceries to our at-risk immigrant neighbors, the Youth and Family Center of McHenry, McHenry County Rapid Response, the many organizations with which we share our monthly shared plate, through our support and involvement in the interfaith organization Faith Bridge, our upcoming service trip to Pine Ridge with Remember, with our sibling congregation, Prairie Circle. And that's just a few. There's more that I hadn't named, all part of our shared ministry that includes a shared minister and is much more and greater and larger than what I as a minister can accomplish or we as an individual congregation can accomplish. We amplify one another. The work we've done together in our whole lives in this year's Coming of Age program is just one example. In a few weeks, our combined youth will be leading a worship service in which they'll be sharing their own growing values and beliefs with us. It's a service that they've been working on throughout the year, a statement they've been working on throughout the year. It's a special worship service and a special moment in their young lives. We amplify one another. Like this grasshopper who's resting in the poet's hands, looks around with complex and enormous eyes, snaps its wings and flies, floating on air. We are stretching our wings. We are stretching our wings with a welcoming congregation committee that has embedded the National Welcoming Congregation Certification into our church year, 2 years, 2 renewals in a row. And in the process, we've all learned and grown together. It's about so much more than earning and receiving the certificate to show that we've completed those steps. It's about our commitment to the LGBTQ plus community in our congregation, in our sibling congregation, and in the world around us. In our world at a time when trans rights and our trans beloveds are under serious and growing threat, when large and powerful corporations have voluntarily rolled back their diversity and inclusion efforts out of fear, our small congregation has leaned into our values and commitments, and strengthened our efforts to be even more inclusive. We're not perfect at it, but we do it anyway, with loving energy and with steadfast commitment. And we cannot and should not underestimate that. It's worth celebrating. It's worth supporting. It's worth growing. We show up at marches, we give generously to local organizations who share one or more of our values and commitments, and we show up for one another. We show up for one another through our caring committee, and even when we're not members of our caring committee. We aren't always perfect at it, but we return again to one another with love because that's what our hearts and our faith calls us to do. And we shouldn't underestimate that. It's worth celebrating, supporting, and it's worth growing. We return again and again in love and in commitment to our covenant of right relations. And we're growing and strengthening our commitment to that covenant through our newly formed Healthy Communications team and our Committee on Shared Ministry. It's worth celebrating. It's worth supporting. It's worth growing. In a world filled with systems designed to extract as much as possible from as many of us as possible, and to extract from the earth as much as possible for the benefit of the few, we gather together to be present to the moment, to be present to one another, to celebrate each other's joys, to listen to one another's concerns and sorrows, to sing together, to breathe together, to learn together, to nurture our hearts and souls, and to nurture one another, to commit to embracing our own humanity, and to creating community both inside and outside of our congregation. We are a community in which our children and families and loved ones are welcomed and respected and treated with care. The poet says, "I know how to be blessed, and that is what I've been doing all day." We in this community, we too know how to be blessed. We cannot and should not underestimate that. Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? We are stretching our wings. This past year, because I'm your minister, because I'm part of your shared ministry, I've been asked to lead prayers and protest vigils at the Great Lakes Naval Base when the Naval Base was providing support for Project Midway Blitz. I was asked to lead a flower communion ceremony and protest at the Broadview Detention Center, to join other clergy at Target headquarters, to call on the executives there to decry Target's support of ICE in Minneapolis, to show up with Trans Upfront Illinois and Heather and members of our congregation to speak on behalf of trans and gender expansive youth at a Marengo School Board meeting, to perform a marriage ceremony at the Graham Correctional Facility. I'm invited and asked to do these things because I am the minister with the Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist congregation in McHenry County, a congregation that's committed to love and to justice. And what each of us are able to do as individuals is amplified by what we're able to do together, by our shared ministry. And that includes me, but it's not limited to me. Think of what you've been able to do this year because you were part of this congregation, this community, this shared ministry. Our individual efforts and commitments are amplified and multiplied. And you amplify and support what our sibling congregation, Prairie Circle, is able to do, and our shared ministry together. Everything you give, large and small, to this congregation in love, in time, in effort, in creativity, in imagination, and in resources is sacred giving and is amplified. Every dollar is amplified and multiplied in one, not just one, but within two congregations. We're stretching our wings. Today, we continue and work towards bringing our pledge drive to a close for the year. Our board and our finance team are working diligently on drafting the budget for the years ahead. In just a few short months, it will be time for our annual meeting. It's a time of year when we ask you to think about what it is that you're able to give. You've heard that in a couple of different ways this morning. Individually, it can feel like we may not be able to give enough, but together we amplify one another. And though we'll talk about budgets and look at spreadsheets and the operational expenses built into our budget today. And at this moment, I want to ask you and ask us to remember to look beyond the numbers, to look beyond the budget, to look at our shared ministry, to that more than who we are individually and the more than our individual contributions are. The shared ministry that extends into our life between Sundays and extends into the world around us. The shared ministry that amplifies and multiplies who we are, what we're capable of, and what we bring to a world that needs the love and hope and community that we have to offer, even if it's just a few people at a time, even if it's just one person at a time. There is a story told in the library of books referred to as the Bible, in those books called the Gospel or Good News. There's stories about the life and teachings of Rabbi Jesus. And there's many variations of those stories across those 4 books. Very different. Sometimes a story might appear in 1 or 2 of the books, and then not always exactly the same way. But one of the stories that exists in all 4 books is a story that speaks of the day when Jesus had been teaching a large crowd all day long, and neither Jesus or the people had had anything to eat. And they grew tired, and they grew hungry, and they grew restless, and when you read the story, some of them sound like they're getting kind of hangry. And a small boy in the crowd has a lunch that he brings to Jesus, a couple of pieces of bread and some small fishes, a gift, if you will. Now, Jesus doesn't take the lunch and keep it to himself. He doesn't go, thank you, I sure am tired and hungry, and then go take a lunch break. He takes the gift of the food from the small boy, he holds it, he blesses it, he lifts it, he breaks it, and he gives it away. And in the story, it multiplies throughout the crowd. Now, that story is not meant to be a factual and literal eyewitness journalism. It's a story and poetry meant to teach about the power of giving, of the way that gifts given with love and caring amplify and multiply in the world. So this year, if you made your pledge or as you're making your pledge, know that your pledge will be held. Your pledge will be blessed. Your pledge will be lifted. Your pledge will be shared and given to others. And your pledge will be amplified and grow. The pledge you give is a gift of love that is amplified and multiplied by everyone in this congregation. It's amplified through our relationships with one another and the relationships we're building in the community, amplified in our shared ministry, amplified through our choir and our religious educators, amplified with our sibling congregation, and even with me. A shared ministry that is greater than the minister and includes the minister. A shared ministry that's greater than the congregation and includes the congregation. We are stretching our wings. We are stretching our wings. So tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Amen. Nashe, and blessed be. We're going to enter into just a time of centering, so center your body. Take deep breaths. Breathe slowly and deeply. And consider our centering words, a reflection on worship, on gratitude, and the gifts we give and receive from one another, from our faith, and from our community. To worship means to consider that which has worth And today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community, the opportunity to be affirmed in who we are and to offer that affirmation to others, the chance to stand up and help remake the world in the ideal of justice, the freedom to choose one's path to truth and to learn from the travelogues of others, the space to expand one's own spirit and to reconnect after busy or challenging weeks with the sustaining truths of one's life. Regular reminders that we must see our world through the lens of love, and the aspiration to consider all of life as precious, for all of it is made of stardust. So this morning, let's welcome all of these gifts with gratitude, for they've been paid for with many currencies. The blood of the martyrs who died so that we can be free in our religion. The sweat of those who persisted in justice's name against hostility and adversity. The tears of those who struggled to build better lives for those in this life. The questions of our children as they understand the world anew and offer their understanding to us as a fresh lens. The laughter and joy of those giddy with the embrace of community. The dollars and cents of those who gave what they could and then stretched a little more. The infinite small acts of service that make the parts greater than the whole, done by those who knew themselves in sympathy with our purposes. So today, we consider with gratitude and humility what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward for us. And now, with all of this, as you feel ready, open your eyes and let us return to our worship with gladness in our hearts.
Thank you, Dave. And now, each week as we worship, we welcome the offerings that support our work of community. Many of us have already given our gifts electronically, online, but we still set aside this time for the act of gratitude. Online participants may donate in one of three ways that are shown on your screen. And for those of you in the sanctuary, may place your gift in the offering plate, or if you've already given, just show your gratitude by passing the plate to your neighbor. If you're new to Tree of Life, please let this opportunity pass you by, because your presence is your gift to us today.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion.
In whatever way you give, your generosity is greatly appreciated. We give thanks for these gifts and for all the gifts that you bring. And now we have a chance to say hello to everyone, including those online. Those of you online, if you wish, turn on your cameras and you can see us here in the congregation. There we go. We have any online today? There we go. Hello, hello. There's everyone together. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. The sharing of joys and concerns is a sacred moment in our service. To help us grow in community, we invite you to share a few short sentences about your own joy or concern. And like a stone dropped in the water reminds us that what affects one ripples out and touches us all, I will drop a stone in the water for each one. Those of you in the sanctuary with a joy or concern may line up in the aisle, and you'll have the microphone there. And then afterwards, online participants, if you raise your hand, the tech team will get to you.
Hi, I'm Beth Hoover, she, her, and Julie and I brought the treats today, and she had a wonderful idea, and she baked a cake, and she put a tree on it with a chrysalis. So I want you to appreciate that before you dive into it. And then I brought a sign that says, "Your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are ready." So start packing. No, okay.
Hey, my name is Till, he, him. I just wanted to say that it was, I don't know if you know that Artemis 2 launched like around 11 days ago, and it was really special to see us go around the moon for the first time in over 51 years. It was like it felt like Christmas morning every day. I'd wake up and see it get closer and closer. But yeah, it was just a really special experience, and I was really touched by Captain Reed Wiseman's words before they went around the far side of the moon. He said, "We feel your love from the moon," and that God said the greatest command was to love God with all that you are and to love your neighbor as such. So I was really touched by that.
Good morning. I am Sue Reckenthaler, she, her. This Tuesday, 1 o'clock, I have to go before the McHenry County Community Development and Building Grant panel. I had some great assistance from Jesse Bowen to get the grant written. We have a slide presentation to show exactly what we do for Compassion for Campers. If you could make a mental note that between 1 and 1:15 on Tuesday, you face the west at the administration building, send that panel of 8 people, all good juju, that they will grant us some money for Compassion for Campers. Because if we do not get this grant, we are going to really have to be exploring other possibilities to keep our 15-year-old program on its feet. So Tuesday, 1:15, positive thoughts to the west. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patrick Murphy, he, him. It's been a few weeks since I've spoken of the medical misadventures of my family, and those misadventures have spread. Within the last couple of weeks, my youngest daughter, Maureen, who is my granddaughter Matilda's mother and who lives in our house with us, was diagnosed with very early stage breast cancer. And just on Friday, consulted with the oncologist and a surgeon, and we'll be having a lumpectomy and a procedures within a few weeks, very soon. The prognosis is good, but it is traumatic, and given all the other things going on with all the other people in the family, it is just it's just one more thing. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Cheryl, she, her, and excuse me, my concern relates to this morning at about 9 o'clock this morning. I came for the choir practice, and I have lost my keys. So I have a locksmith in the parking lot. He was able to open my vehicle, but I don't know where my keys are, so it sounds like he's able to make a copy, but I think maybe somebody might have picked them up accidentally, because this is the only place I came, and then they were gone. So if you could look in your pockets or purses and just keep that in mind. 1 car key, 1 house key. Thank you.
It's on a little fob. It's like a car fob. Oh, okay. And then just a little house key.
Hello, my name is Zach, he, him. I understand I'm a new face to many of you. I recently got a job in McHenry at the Follett warehouse, so you'll be seeing me more often.
Do we have anyone online?
We do have a message in the chat. The message is from Linda Carlin. She's feeling connected to Tree of Light this morning. Enjoy from Bozeman, Montana, visiting her younger son and his friends, inspired by these young people who are living their wild and precious lives and are full of possibility.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And thank you to all who shared this morning. And now, let us honor the unexpressed joys and concerns that remain in our heart for the space of three deep breaths, and I'll drop one more stone in the water. Okay, now please rise in body or spirit as you're able, and join in singing hymn number 1014, Answering the Call of Love.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, by faith, we dare to proclaim we are
I'll now extinguish our chalice. If you have a flame at home, you may do the same. We extinguish this flame of communal worship and now carry its light within us.
Our closing words include two short readings read together. We begin with Always Unfolding by Reverend Tandy Rogers and conclude with Only Begun by Reverend William Sinkford. May possibility take root where certainty once stood. May curiosity lead the way. May you loosen your grip, open your hands, and find that something unexpected is always unfolding. Spirit of life and love, dear God of all nations, there is so much work to do. We've only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Help us hold fast to our vision of what can be. May we see the hope in our history and find the courage and the voice to work for that constant rebirth of freedom and justice. That is our dream. Go in peace, and go and make peace. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. That concludes our worship service for today. We will begin our town hall discussion right at noon because Jesse has to leave and we need to make sure he's got time to share his words with us. So enjoy some treats and come right back. Be here at noon. Folks online can also join us at noon.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our God. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering